This is awesome. Hey everyone, Mark of the trail here. I am going to do Powderface Prairie Creek West Loop. It's almost, I'm almost making stuff up at this point. Earlier this year I did the East Loop, which I think is a pretty popular winter hike. Now, the hike I'm on here is a little unorthodox. I mean, in the fact that I'm not even really at a trailhead, I'm at like a pullout on this gravel road. There's nobody here. There's no trailhead sign or anything. I think I'm just starting in a very unorthodox place, but I mean, it's difficult to even describe this trail. I'm gonna have to show you on the map, which is something I don't do very often. But I was on reserve today, and so I'm starting this hike pretty late in the day. It's like 2:30, 3 o'clock, something along those lines. And so yeah, I can't go do some big summit. I'm gonna go do this loop. Why not? I mean, it's on the other side of the fence. You know, the gate's over there, so I have to do it in the summer. Yeah, let's go check it out. It's an interesting way to spend an afternoon and an evening. Okay, I suppose I should show what this one is. This is Prairie Creek Sheep Valley Gem Trek. Okay. I came down here. This is roughly. I can barely even let go. I can barely even let go of this thing without it slipping around. This is roughly where the gate is here, about Prairie Mountains. So winter gate. All this is stuff you can only do in the summer. So back in the day, I have a hike of me doing this. Now, that was Prairie Creek, Prairie Link, Powderface Creek. So I call that Prairie Powderface Creek Trail East. So now I want to do the other side, which is definitely a little bit longer. So right now I am parked right there. And I mean, this is an absolute mess in the Kananaskis Trail Guide. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go over here. Probably I'll go up that. Go up here. Go up the Prairie Link, which I've done before, of course. Along here to finish the Prairie Creek Trail off. And then I'm going to take the Ford Creek Trail down and come onto this. Now, there's definitely no page in the book. You know, I always put a description in my videos saying where you can find stuff. Well, I'd have to put about 7 trail numbers here, right, in one guide. So, going up here is like the start of Powderface Ridge. So there's like 2 different, and it's like 57A and 57B or something. And then you get here, and this is a trail name, and then that one's there is another trail number, and then Prairie Creek is another trail number. And then there's this Ford Creek, which is a trail number, and then there's another trail number talking about a little path that goes up this way, which is, I believe, 55 in the book. So, yeah, there's a lot of descriptions. I took pictures of a lot of different pages, just in case. I mean, I don't think I'll have any problems. But, yeah. And that's, I mean, you know, why not come down here? Why would I want to walk down the gravel road, right? So there's a lot of little side trails I can do. Yeah, I'm going to start up this way. So the first thing I'm going to do is climb up this ridge. And then I'll probably do this one. And then there's a lot more to do, so. Okay, nothing to do but get to it. Well, 10 after 3. This is where I've parked. I could have parked parallel and made more room, but clearly there's no mad scramble to get in there. There's still room for a bunch of cars, so trail is down here. The trail I'm going to come out of is here. That heads up to Prairie Creek. And this guy down here goes up to Powderface Ridge, which is a trail for another day. A day perhaps when I bring a mountain bike. All right. So far the trail's in good shape. And I'm climbing, which I anticipated. It's all forest. Climbing is, one thing about it is you know the trails, the views and that are gonna get better. Your work will pretty much always pay off. I'm huffing and puffing, but it's starting to come. Starting to come. There's actually a road connector up here that I could have parked at and then just climbed up to this. But then I would have had to do, well, the climb I just did, I would have had to do it at the very end of my hike and then probably go back down. So it would have actually added onto my climbing to park down there and climb up, because that would have been all extra. Oh, it's nice to get a lot of the climbing out of the way right off the hop. This might be, I don't know for sure, but Powderface Bridge might be my biggest climb of the day, so. All right, that's one little milestone accomplished. That goes down to the road. Off we go. This always blows my mind. Down there, this creek is as dry as can be. Up here, it just vanishes into something, right? I always think that's neat. So cute with something in your mouth. Oh, my pole fell over and scared you up higher. Sometimes the poles are a pain in the butt. They scare nature. Oh well. This trail is used by horses somewhat, and horse trails, if they're not being used a ton, they're quite nice because they clear out the trees from them and that sort of thing. They're usually pretty good, but if they're being used a ton and they're muddy and nasty and really tough. But if they're just, you know, like look how nice and wide this is. It's a lot of rocks, but it's easy to just go around them and it's not bad. Not bad. Well, I'm at the pass. Down here is Powderface Ridge. That is a hike all on its own. That's where I came from. This is a little side trail that I've considered, and I think I'm gonna turn it down. There's a solid 4 side trails I can do off this. But I'll be back here. I'm gonna do Powderface Ridge. So I'm gonna be back at this spot another day. So I will have the option of doing it then too. Some of these other side trails, I will not be back. Unless I decide to come and do this hike a second time, and I usually avoid that because you just don't need to. There's endless hikes in the Calgary, Banff, Lake Louise areas, so I think we'll continue on. Well, coming down from the pass, kind of losing views, but this is nice here. And the road, the Kananaskis kind of highway is on the other side of this. It's really nice and peaceful in here. Powderface Creek actually yields the creek. I love that gurgle. I think it's my favorite sound in nature. I like it more than the roar of a falls or the constant churn of a river. This nice little gurgle. think right here is Prairie Link, or I'm going to hike up to Prairie Creek Trail. This has been downhill, 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 downhill. So I'm thinking that Prairie Creek on the other side is going to be another. I think I'm wrong about all that climbing. I think I got more, lots more. That's quite a view there. I think that's Prairie Mountain. It's actually going to be the third time I hit up Prairie Creek. Off Prairie Mountain I came down and just did a little patch of it. And then I hiked all the way across, came down Prairie Link and came down here and went that way. And now I'm going to go up and finally finish off that trail. Doesn't usually take 3 different hikes. I like this. This looks really recent. Like, this looks like this was built this year type thing. It's funny to look at rocks and think, oh well, these are new rocks, but just look at the huge difference between the landscape and them. This is nice work. Ugh. What the hell? That looks really out of place. How? Okay, this is an awful road to have cars on. If that's down there, then why doesn't it look like it's rusted 75 years old? Well, I'm not sure how this happened. As far as I know, that is not some old fire road. It's not some old wagon road. But vehicles must have gone on it at some point. Like, this doesn't even seem that old. I'm not even sure if it's upside down, or if that's a tail or a front. Kind of looks like the tail. The back of a car. Anyway, I mean, it almost looks like people have positioned logs around it. I mean, do they have a fire in the middle of this thing? I don't see any ashes. The things you find. At some point, I'm going to make a video. Weird stuff you find out on trail. Well, I got to say that I'm not a fan of this Powderface Creek trail. It's rocky. Well, it's been downhill a lot, so I mean, it is nice to have flat trails sometimes. And for a little while, the creek was over here. It was gurgling, but that's gone at the moment. Farther ahead, past Prairie Link, it opened up in a few places, and it was kind of nice, right? I kind of liked it there. But yeah, I mean, not all trails can be winners, right? Every so often I'm going to go down one, and really it's just a lot of forest, but yeah. Well, I should say that a trail is kind of boring more often, because then this sort of thing happens, right? It starts opening up and you got all these little flowers, and yeah, this is better now. I'm digging it. Well, the last kilometer of that section of trail was definitely the nicest. This is, I'm at Prairie Link. I'm gonna go up there. This is a portion I've done already, doing the loop. This one here I enjoyed. I still think this part here is better. There's actually a trail showing on my app going that way. Sure looks rough though. Okay, I know this is a place where they stop and have their horses graze and stuff. It's really nice in here. Gotta say, I want to stop and get a rock out of my shoe, and then it's onward and upward. A hike that you do in the winter compared to doing it in the summer, it just looks so different. It's a different animal. Maybe I'll splice in footage of when I came here in the winter. It's all covered in snow. Well, Prairie Link I've done before, doing the loop, the east loop, so at least I know what I'm getting into. Basically, you got to climb over the hump in between the two Powderface Creek and Prairie Creek trails. So it's a climb, and it's back down. It's all forest, but you know, serves a purpose. Another decision. I think I've made this one now. So you got these little marks in the trees. It's like, they're old, man. Something 95, and this one says 96. I don't know, it's very kind of weird. So there's a trail here, it's called Prairie Hill. And I tried to do it last year. Like 4 or 5 months ago. And I ended up turning back. This trail is not on Gem Trek, it's not in the Kananaskis Trail Guide, it is in absolutely nothing. It is just here. And it's on my, it's on maps.me. So I marked it, the top of it, and it shows 850 meters. So, you know what? My curiosity is going to get the better of me. I might be going up to see absolutely nothing. But it's also the fact that I tried this, you know, back in the winter, and I had to turn back. So that's definitely part of it. I've been on bad trails before. I have managed to find my way, you know, closed down trails, decommissioned trails. This is something different. This is nothing. This is just a dude walking through the forest. Now, back when the snow was here, I was following someone's footsteps. But even that, those kind of went away. And so then I decided that I was just being stupid and turn around. Well, I have now turned around again. I mean, there's no trail. I can't find blazes. I can't even find like a good game trail to follow. So all I got is my map, and I'm walking through the bush. So yeah, I don't know where maps.me pilfered that trail from. Topo maps or what? Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. And I mean, I lost the trail like literally 20 meters after I started following it. It just kind of evaporated, and no blazes, no nothing. I could have looked a little harder, but I guess I didn't expect to lose it so fast. And I know how to stay on trails for the most part. So yeah, just don't even bother. It's, I mean, if I've already turned back twice on this, then it's just, I don't know, it's just a wild goose chase. Sometimes maps.me will send me on a wild goose chase. This is not the first time. All right, back on the regular maintained trail. I don't have to go on made up trails and go wandering through the bush. Could probably do another 5 summers in this area at least, and still find new stuff, new perfectly nice maintained trails to go and hike on. So Prairie Link Trail is, you know, kind of a boring walk through the woods, 3.2 kilometers, but there's like almost no rocks, there's no trees, no roots. There's some elevation, but basically you can just hammer it off. It's not bad. It's nice compared to that Powderface Creek. There's a lot of rocks and roots on that one, so. Not a bad little shot right there. Almost done Prairie Link, just descending down into this valley. Oh man. You break out of the trees and then you get this really cool panoramic shot. So it's definitely the nicest part of this little trail. I think I'm gonna hang my legs off the end of this thing and take a nice little break. Prairie Link's about 3 kilometers, plus I meandered away on my little side trail, so it's pretty nice. All right then, kind of neat to come back to the spot you were months ago. So now just along here, along the Prairie Creek, and then back here, that's where I started. This whole loop doesn't get used in winter, and so this would be like a foot of snow, right? Tramp, tramp, tramp. Good start. Wow. What a great view to hike to. I like Prairie Creek Trail better than Powderface, I think. like. So it's probably going to be the result again. I hope so. I don't know if I've ever seen this as a way to keep a trail dry. It's like little rock soil gardens. You know, usually they lay logs across it, which, you know, that doesn't always, I don't know how long that works, honestly. But, yeah, I've never seen this. Cool, I like it. This is awesome. This is primo valley hiking. It's not even a contest. I'm sorry, Powderface Trail, you got nothing. Nothing on this. Prairie Creek is way better. This just makes my day in here. I'm definitely enjoying this trail. It's in decent shape too. You know, it's not less rocky and rooty. You don't see this very often, but every so often, we'll see in the fall. This is not snow or anything, this is fluff. Fluff off the trees. Look at it all. Just showed up. Yeah. So I've been enjoying this hike. There is a side trip that you can do from here. It shows up on the Kananaskis trail guide map called Rocky Point, and that's obviously it. Now up to this point I haven't seen an obvious trail. From here I could probably bushwhack quite a ways up, but I don't think I care to do that. Looks like you gotta go up a ledge there. Of course, now that I've stopped and I'm talking, I have mosquitoes buzzing around my camera hand. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what goes on. Even if I do find an obvious trail, I'm not sure I'm gonna do it. Sometimes you find this, right? You'll just find a whole group of trees and they've all been carved. And, you know, some of these are almost bordering on historic. 89, 87, 87. I guess they're not that old. I'm surprised no one has put anything new. 98, 95. Nothing from this century, huh? This millennium. Can't even read that. Fail. Still kind of at the trees. I found some more. This one says 03 on it, so. There's the Rocky Point. I've been walking for a while and I can't find any trail, anything obvious. And I mean, it keeps going down here and maybe there's one that goes up there, but I doubt it. So I think it's time to start the bushwhack. So I've marked my position on the trail and I think I'm gonna head up this thing. So off we go. Well, this is of course a bunch of work climbing, but it's been pretty easy bushwhacking. Dangers of this are that, see, this is level. You can see this is not real steep, but it's getting there. You can't really tell how steep things are. I got a good look at everything when I was walking down there, but so I think I should be all right. The rock outcrop is out there, but you know, you just don't know. Even someone like me who's climbed a few mountains now, still a lot higher than you think. Quite the view at the moment though. Oh. See the end of the trail on the road, and then I gotta go up. Prairie Creek trail still. Wow, what a cool dead tree. Well, this stuff all through here was tricky. This is what I came up. But I'm here. Thought about heading up to that one, but yeah, you know. Oh. Oh. Damn. It is a view and a half. Oh. I don't feel like I can spend that much time up here. I've, you know, time has kind of become a factor against me now that I come up here. I've spent some of the extra time I had, that's for sure. Wow, though. This is super cool. There's no cairns up here, so you know this is not visited very often. If, like, really. If ever. Really, I'm probably fine. You know, the sun's gonna go down behind Nahahi Ridge over there. I think that's Nahahi Ridge, or maybe this is it. Maybe that's all it. But, yeah, I mean, I gotta get down, I gotta get to the road, and I gotta decide whether to walk along the road or go up on Prairie Creek, which was the original plan. Just to kind of see a bit more trail. But yeah, I can't stay up here too long, so about time to do this tricky part and get down. Okay, I'm glad to be off that part. Loose rock with pretty much a deathly fall does not give you a nice feeling inside, that's for sure. Much rather be back on the moss and the little plants. And it's not as steep either. Okay, I'm back to the love trees. Oh, that was probably the hardest side trip I could have chosen off this thing. So, I gotta give out the usual. You know, don't go do that unless you're up for the challenge. You don't mind side hilling on scree. Don't go and kill yourselves because you watched my YouTube video. What do we got here? 2 KMFJS. I don't know. Come on, man. Put a year on there. That's all that's interesting. No one cares what your initials are. Just another idyllic scene on Prairie Creek Trail. Pretty sure the road's down here. Another little advantage of Prairie Creek Trail is Powderface, you're going over a pass. So you're climbing over like something like this size, right? That's why I did all that climbing and then descending. Pretty sure the road's just up there. It's just, there's no pass. You don't have to climb over anything. Except unless you go off the trail like me and climb some big rocky outcrop. Kind of unnecessary, but I always love a neat little bridge. And these days I'm gonna be walking across one of these and it is gonna snap and that's not gonna be fun. But, you know, I still like it. Well, I wasn't quite done with Prairie Creek, and it's one more scene. There's the road. Yeah, hands down, this is, there's just so many nice, great views off this creek. It's pretty cool. One last little walkway. Always got to appreciate this stuff while it's here, because once it falls apart, you don't know when it's going to come back. without it, be having to traipse through all this swamp. So it's nice to have it here. Well, I hate to say it, but I mean, it's 8:30 at night. The last I ever checked the sunset, it was like 10 o'clock. Well, that was like maybe a week ago. And the sun's gonna go behind the mountain over there. 4.5 kilometers in an hour and a half. Or 2.5 down the road. I think I need to make the safe choice, and that is the 2.5. It's no fun. I kind of screwed myself out of it when I went up the rock. But, you know, another day I'll go up this thing. You know, down here, you can actually go and climb up a few different things. So, there you go. I'll make a official looking day hike out of that. Okay, well, I guess that's 2.5 kilometers of boring road. Yeah, you know, there's still nice scenery off it, so no biggie. You know what, hiking along the road, not bad. Gives you time to appreciate. You know, sometimes you just, in your car, you just blaze by everything, you know, take the time, so this forces you. Well, I was on that road, of course, and there's a little side road that kind of went up. Showed on my app, so I just followed up a little bit. And I found, I think, definitely someone's little campsite, but I think there's also some native stuff going on here. And a trail. Like, this is clearly blazed. Like, very clearly. I can see the next 5-6 trees all blazed. So, not sure where it goes. But also not gonna figure that out today. So look at these huge pits. I mean, this is like you know, enough for like a pig roast or something. And all this must have been logged once, because there's a lot of chopped trees, and they're chopped like 50 years ago. You know, I mean, there's obviously a recent one, but these were everywhere. Yeah. So, kind of wonder a little bit, right? And I wonder where that trail goes. That just goes up into, oh, and then there's this too. Very fresh. It's gonna give me a clue. Can't read it. Love you, Eva, Mura. It's just people. Thought maybe this was a tribe or something. Anyway, that's just going up into nothing, into like in between Prairie Creek and over here is Powderface. So maybe that goes up to that. You know, there's a trail that goes up there off the Powderface Pass. Yeah, well, kind of neat. Little side adventure. Road's down there. I guess I head back down. Always happy to get out on trail. Always happy to get back to the car. Well, I always say I had fun, and I pretty much always do. I just love checking out new trails. If you have 2 vehicles, I think Prairie Creek is totally worthwhile, man. Walk right through it. I'm not even sure which way is better. I mean, from the west side, you're gonna go downhill. So that might be a little better. You know, it depends. But yeah, it's really, you know, that's a nice little gem at Prairie Creek. For walking through a valley, you're not going to a lake, you're not climbing a mountain, you're not anything. There's some sweet, sweet views, man. Really nice views. Powderface Creek, well, you know, it's good for the horses and that sort of thing. There's a couple of nice things in it. There's a few nice meadows with flowers. I don't know. I'm happy to walk down trails and check out trails, but every so often I think one is a bit of a dud, and Powderface Creek's kind of, yeah, it's a little more interesting on the other side. You know, you cross some bridges and that sort of thing, but yeah, you know. Hey, if you only have one vehicle, just do the 2 loops like I did. It'd be 2 days of hiking, but or at least 2 half days, but yeah, you'd see it all. All right, well, I did what I could with my half day. Get out there and hike.